Jonathan Foster. I'm the marketing manager, and what else do I do here? Program coordinator.
Should we sit? Can I sit down?
Fuck no. You're supposed to stand over. You're supposed to stand over there. Yeah, I'm not in this movie. I didn't do any of the music for it. But it's cool music though. It's really good music.
Really good.
Really
I'm gonna
good.
sit down.
You were supposed to stand there, and they'd be like, it's not every day you get to, do a Q&A about a place that you work in, for a film about a place that you work in. And it's not every day that that person who made that film is in, the house. But it is every day when it's the regulars, and it's Mr. Fil Freitas.
Yay!
So Phil,
Nice to finally meet you, John.
yeah. Nice to meet you.
Pleasure.
I'm nervous.
You're nervous.
Yeah, because it's like one of my cinema heroes over here. Phil, what do you want to talk about? This is
Hear a pin drop in the room.
this.
I know. Hopefully,
This isn't questions.
hopefully you have questions.
No, this is
I came very unprepared.
This is the running format
I kinda showed my
for the Q&A that was on last night. I just found it. I thought it might have some cool questions, but it's about a horror film. Yeah.
This is kind of hard. If you work here, it's kind
Yeah.
of a film.
No, I'm just joking. What, dude? This is awesome, right? Like the regulars happened, and I was there from a pretty early part of this. Phil and I, if you don't know, we did the podcast here for. I started in 2019, and you came on pretty early on, like towards
We did it for about 4 years.
yeah,
altogether?
for almost 5 years, all the way through COVID. We lost our minds. And Phil was working on this project like during all of that, and it's like incredible that this happened. And it's actually here at the place that it's set on. So like, how do you feel now that it's finally here, that you're finally getting to see the regulars on the big screen?
First thing I thought before I came out, I was like, I don't want to say That's literally how I started. It's a good feeling.
Count 'em. We're gonna have an counter. You have to take a shot every time Phil says
It's kind of an indescribable feeling, to be honest. Everyone around you everyone who's around me would tell you that I have a very hard time feeling any sense of pride or positive feeling towards myself or anything I do. But I'm finally at the point where I'm starting to feel proud about the film. Thank you. Like I said at the beginning, it feels like homecoming for the film, and it was a long time getting here, long time getting it made, and a long time getting it shown. I had to take very long way around to get it shown here, but it's finally here, and it's playing to a sold-out crowd, and I hope you liked it. Did you like it?
Yeah. That's great. So, what inspired you, to make this movie? This is the burning question. Why'd you do it?
Why did I do
Why'd
this?
you do this?
Why did you do this? Why do you like this? Take a shot. I just came up with it, it came from nowhere in particular, I just have a really rich imagination. This is what I mean, like, I feel like a bit of a fraud, because so much of it is ripped straight from real life. So I had the idea initially in 2019, and I was pitching it to Dusty as kind of like a short film. I was out of film school, I'd been working here a couple of years, and I hadn't really made anything, and I was feeling complacent. I wanted to make something I didn't know what to make, and after a while working here, you have enough funny stories and enough weird things that happen to you on shift that I was like, I think this would make a good movie. Like, I would watch this movie. Like, I think the story of me and my friends is a story worth telling, And I started from there, literally just compiling notes, just funny things, and then I just took it bit by bit. So I wasn't originally thinking, I'm going to make a feature, I'm going to take this all the way to the end. It was like, let me write it, let me see if this will work in the script. It was just kind of, it was meant to be, it started very personal. I wanted to just make a movie about my 20s and how I felt in my 20s, that sort of state of limbo that I was feeling, that I still feel. We're kind of in between school and the rest of your life, and you don't really know what you're doing, the kind of existential dread that you're feeling. And it's a weird feeling working at cinema, and if you want to be a filmmaker, because one, yes, that's very inspirational, you're surrounded by movies all the time, but it's also very detrimental because you're surrounded by your dreams while you're cleaning up popcorn, and you feel so close yet so far away. So trying to really tap into those feelings, and I kind of just mixed those ideas together, that story and all those funny little things I'd compiled, and I put them together. So just based off mine and everybody I knew's experience in here.
Yeah, I mean, like, I know that, like, a few of those things were, like, things that I've told you happened, like, to me, like, the newspaper. I was on shift, I was in the
sorry
office.
about that.
Yeah, and Phil did it. And then the mold on the wall.
Funny, yeah,
That's just
nobody
the mold.
mentioned the mold on the wall.
Yeah.
That's the real thing that you told Dusty. But
Yeah, Dusty was just like, yeah, what
all
is that?
that black stuff on
I
the
was like,
back.
it's just the mold. But I think
It's not there anymore.
You know, it's Britain, you know? Like, I think people are conditioned to, like, just live in moldy palaces, you know? So, like, who cares if you see a moldy wall at work, right?
Like, who cares if you see a dead rat? Central London.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every building in Central London has dead rat.
And-
Story.
You know, and to be fair, we probably have one of the, like, least rat-infested buildings in Central London.
I think we have a poster that says that somewhere.
Yeah. Put it on the readograph.
Yeah, but it's funny that people will ask me, like, you know, how much of it is based on reality, and most of
Yeah.
it, and some of the stuff that you think wouldn't happen, did happen.
Yeah.
Like the oven. That's a real story. It didn't happen to me. That happened to a member of staff at work, and they came in late because of that.
Yeah.
And it's like, if that's not the best metaphor I've ever heard for not coming into work, and I stole it.
Well, like, what made you land on the title, The Regulars? Like, you know, and, like, we have, obviously, like, anybody who works in any place that's either a cinema or just any customer-facing job, I'm sure, if any of you guys have worked in anything like this, you would have had your regular people that come in that just kind of, like, make the place so extremely colorful, you know, and there's all sorts. There's, like, the ones that are just easy to deal with, you know, and that make your day better when they come in and you have a great laugh with them. But then there's the ones that are just insane, and you're like, holy, this person, I want to know everything about them because they're like the most interesting person in the world, because I want to know why they're doing the things they're doing when
And
they
then
come in this building.
and they'll probably be banned.
Yeah, eventually,
quite
yeah.
soon after.
Yeah.
The title was not my idea. It's a brilliant title. My original title was Popcorn and Coffee. Because I was very deliberately ripping off, like, coffee and cigarettes, that kind of narrative-free, episodic thing. And Dusty gave me the title, reading the script one day. I think maybe just because there were lines in it, or I don't know if it had been referenced, but she was like, that's your title, The Regulars. And it's so perfect because it's about the regulars, and that, you know, it's about the people who regularly come in, but who are the biggest regulars at the cinema? The people
Snap.
who work here.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, if anybody was feeling triggered by the idea of, like, which one am I?
I've gone now.
No, I mean, it's like, fuck, dude, the staff here are the ones that are really triggered. So, actually, there's a question I have. I was going to ask about, because you have a good mix of, like, you know, professional actors. You know, you have the real life staff members playing, like, funny versions of themselves, not me. And then you have, you know, current staff member, in the case of Sergio, wherever he is, I still haven't spotted him in the audience, playing a former staff member who used to work at the cinema. And, like, going into the casting process, like, did you know that you were going to be writing these characters for these people and hope that they would be in the film, or did you know that you'd have to go out and get some professional actors as well, like your brother Rick? Shout out to Rick.
Who played Sam? Do you know Sam?
Yeah, so like, yeah, how did that casting process go?
Like to think I always had that in mind. I genuinely don't remember now, but I like to think that I always had the idea to kind of mix them. But the idea was there were certain people I wanted to play themselves, like Rob.
Yeah, good God, Rob.
Yeah.
That is Rob.
100%
as well.
Could you get anybody to play? He won't tell you that, but that, yes, it's a heightened version of him, but it's pretty close to what he was like working here.
And that story about him yelling at someone while he was off shift is 100% true.
Absolute legend. But he's a good example of that. It was difficult. He took convincing to do that. One, because he's not an actor, and two, because he read it and he was like, I don't feel like this is me. And it felt, he did, like maybe he didn't want to play up to that version of himself.
Yeah.
And I just had to kind of really, I was like, yes, it's you in name and in appearance and everything, but it is a different character. Like, it's just, you're not playing you. You are playing this character. And hopefully, and the way I sold it to him was like, look, it's way easier for me to teach you how to act than to teach an actor how to be like you.
Yeah.
But there were people, Rick was always going to be in it. Rick is my brother and like one of the best actors I know, and is the backbone of the movie, and he deserves better parts. So I was like, I knew he would be in it. I didn't know, I think ideally, everyone would have been played by them, but I knew like Caroline wouldn't be comfortable with that.
Yeah,
and
Dan as well.
Dan and Flavio had left at that point.
Yeah.
I don't know if he would even been interested.
Yeah, he was back in Portugal at that time.
And that was a tough one to cast. And then I think Sergio just kind of I never knew Sergio had like aspirations of acting, and he just let it slip one day. And I was like, send me a tape, and he was absolutely perfect. And then sort of cast people around them, and just kind of made everybody, the actors, that kind of made them drop down a little bit, like act less than they would, and the regular people would act up. Yeah. So there would be like a kind of, and we'd all reach a nice middle ground, and hopefully it comes off very naturalistic, very realistic. Again, I wanted it to feel like very fly on the wall documentary, like you're just hanging out with them, and I didn't want to feel like anybody was acting. I wasn't planning to play myself.
I wanted to ask you what it was like playing yourself.
I wasn't planning on it. I just couldn't find anybody to do it. And then when I said I was going to play myself, then Dusty was like, well, I have to play Dusty then. And then and I was very happy she did that. I was hoping that she would do that. Because that's hard to get. I think we have a natural chemistry just by being a real couple. That it's hard to get. But playing myself was, I've told you this, I'll tell it here. The last Q&A I did in Newcastle, the best question I got was one of the ushers asked me, what was it like playing such an unlikable character? I was like, okay. I was like, I didn't realize I was that unlikable, okay. Little white life then, I was very likable, but okay. But my answer to that was, I didn't really think about it, and if I'm unlikable, it's because that's genuinely how I see myself. So like the version of Phil in the script is the version of me I see. Yeah. Like a slacker, a bit mean, a bit dry, too sad. Like these. I
mean, this is like us on the podcast for like 4 or 5 years, like
just doing therapy. On the airwaves.
Don't listen to it.
It's not accessible.
Purposefully.
Yeah. But I just didn't. Honestly, I didn't think about. Like I learned the lines in the lead up, but God, me and Dusty wore like every single hat on the set. Like we were producing it, we were directing it, we were in it, we were doing the catering. We were organizing it, doing call sheets, constantly rearranging the shot list and the schedule. So I wouldn't think about it until I just stepped in front of the camera, and then I was like, oh shit, I have lines. Which helped in the moment because I was just concentrating on everybody else. but I think I don't know, I look at this film with obviously a very critical eye, because I was in it for so long. So I just see all the flaws, and I see all the things in my performance that I'm like, oh, I tried too hard there, or I didn't try enough there, or, oh, that was the sweet spot, I wish I could have kept that up. It was a strange experience. I wasn't going to do it, but I thought, because I'm not an actor, obviously, but I thought this is the only character I know how to play, me.
Did you ever consider getting Rick to play you?
No, no, I didn't.
I could play you.
And I kind of liked the dichotomy we have on screen. It wasn't intentional, but because nobody really picked up on it. Like, we're brothers, obviously, and we look alike. And Sam is my boss in the movie, and it's strange now because I've become that character.
Yeah.
I'm not front of house, I'm now a manager, so now I'm the one trying to keep these damn kids in check. But I like the dichotomy we create because it's almost like I'm looking at a future version of myself in the movie. So it actually turned into a nice happy accident that we both got to be in it and play in front of each other and play in front of the camera.
You're talking about like being on set with Dusty and you guys wearing so many hats and stuff, but like, I mean, one of the cool things about this film is that it was actually filmed in the place that it's set, and I just wanted to see if you could like tell people, if they haven't already heard it on a podcast or a radio interview, like how you managed to film this movie in one of London's busiest cinemas, and what were some of like the biggest struggles you had doing that?
It wasn't easy. I'll start there. It was. Look, this is what made it easy. I knew this place like the back of my hand. I'd been working here 3-4 years by the time we shot it. So I knew it in and out. I live and breathe this place. I knew every crack and crevice of it. I knew what we could do, what space we had to film, what kind of shots we could get. And the whole script was written with the shoot in mind. Like, I laid out the shot list, and it was written with the edit in mind. So I knew even, like, not to overshoot on the day, because I knew it would be very limited. They were very supportive of me doing it here. Just, I asked them for permission, and once we got, like, the logistical stuff out of the way, and I showed them the script, and they, made sure it wasn't, like, an X-rated porno. They're like, yeah, go for it. And then it was... So we couldn't... I've had people presume that we shot this, like, during the day, like, around screens, which would be fucking impossible.
Not gonna happen.
We shot it overnight for 3 weeks in May of 2022. So every night, the cinema would close around 11 p.m. We would come in about midnight. We would set up. We would use one of the screens as, like, a green room. We'd put the catering here, all the little food and stuff.
Yeah, you guys are in the green room, actually.
Yeah, exactly. And the actors would hang out here, and we'd film. And we'd film from midnight to, like, 7 a.m., and we'd clean up before the actual cleaners would have to come in and open the building.
Yeah, and then you just pick up, like, the shots in the morning time, like, for any of the daytime shots, right?
Yeah, exactly. So any time there's a daytime shot and you can see outside, it's like 5, 6 in the morning. You had to wait for the sun to come up. Any other time, it's the middle of the night, and we've just shot it to, we've lit it in a way to make it look like daytime. It's also one of the reasons why it's in black and white. Way easier to get away with that kind of thing. If you're shooting for day a lot during the night. The trickiest bit was staying awake. Because it was always like a journey. The first few days of the week, you'd be like horribly exhausted, and most of the shots would be trash that you'd have to redo at the end of the week. And in the middle of the week, you'd feel it. You're in a routine now, and you're doing great. And then at the end of the week, it's like, I'm wicked tired. Wicked tired. It's starting to catch up with you again. And then we take the weekend off, and then we come back on Monday, so we'd have to do it again 3 times.
Yeah.
It was just no time, no money, and no space. Like, those were the problems, and, like, because it was a small cost, but, like, some people were traveling out of London, and I had to, like, you have to make sure you get all their shoot days in one block, so they're not coming in and out constantly. Or their schedule would change, and you'd have to remember, like Natif. So, okay, here's a good example. The scene with Flavio and Rob on the bar, right? Where like I just heard one of the regulars taking the most angry shit ever, right? And Sergio is looking at. He's meant to be looking at Rob, but he's actually looking at me. And because Natif is in that scene, Natif played the man in the toilet, and he was in Europe or something, and he arrived,
was he doing that like bike ride thing?
Yeah, and he arrived late because he couldn't get his bike on the train or some shit. So he missed his day. So we shot Rob's half of that scene like the week before, and then we shot his scene when he got back a week later, and I just stood in for Rob. So there's a lot of like little patchwork things like that, and it was just like every time, like every lunch time during the shoot, I would sit at the back of the screen, looking at the schedule, and just like a madman, just like rearranging, like, you know, taking things there, putting it that day, and like just playing like 4D chess constantly. But yeah, staying awake and like the schedule were like the hardest thing. And obviously, you know, you get the giggles anyway when you're filming, just because it's a weird experience standing in front of a camera and making pretend. But once at 5 in the morning, even if you're shooting a dramatic scene, fucking that shit's the funniest thing in the world.
Yeah.
It's just like, you know, like the scene Rick has with Dusty where he's telling her she didn't get the job. That's a sad scene, and that was the funniest thing to film. They could not get through it. We had to take a break in the middle of it, and it just wasn't anything like in the dialogue that was making them laugh. It was just like it was this thing Rick was doing with his eyes, where he kept like, you know, like looking away weirdly, and just kept cracking Dusty up. But then I got a great shot out of that. So the shot of Dusty that comes later when I'm sat outside is a blooper from that moment where she like turns to camera, laughs, and falls out of frame. And I remember seeing that in the camera while we were filming it and making a mental note, being like, I'm using that. So everything worked out for the best. It was all it was tough, but it was obviously an amazing experience.
Yeah. Well, you got the film made. November 2023, we have a private screen in here.
We did.
Which was amazing. You get to see it on the big screen. But then you try to enter into the film festival circuit. You get some setbacks. We talked about it on the podcast. We were sad boys.
I was morbidly depressed for a year.
Yeah. And
we've all been there, right?
Yeah. And then, you know, you keep on pushing, man. And then you manage to get to a point where you're pushing out, getting the film into screens. You get a distributor, Monroe Films, and now you're playing at the Prince Charles, and then you're getting these glowing reviews, and like The Guardian, Time Out, Little White Lies. Like, what does that feel like? And like, have there been any particular reviews that you've like really enjoyed, good or bad?
It has been a crazy few months for me, both personally and professionally. Got married. And with the movie, it was, after being rejected from every film festival last year, I really didn't know what to do with myself or the film at the end of 2024. So I went into this year just saying, I just want to do a public screening. I was like, surely I can organize one public screening and get lovely people like you the opportunity to watch it, and I can stop. It won't be like a rumor anymore. Like, it's screened and people saw it. So that was the goal, literally. Like, it was one of my 2025 resolutions. Screen the regulars. One screen. And I got 6 through real places I love, like the Genesis and the Phoenix Cinema. And I got a really cool opportunity. Got taken up to Newcastle and played it at the Star and Shadow. Got to do a private screening at the Curzon Mayfair just for the staff. Right, so there are people from Curzon in tonight? Thank you. That was one of my favourite screenings ever. Because one, it was a midnight show, which was so cool. And if I may say so, it killed. Because that was the perfect crowd for it. So it was great. And that was all great, but still like up in the air. I didn't know what I was doing. Screening kept coming, so I just kept going. And then it became, I got tired of the grind of like constantly harassing cinemas, asking them if they'll show it. So I tried to get a distributor, and I emailed every distributor I could get the contact for. And the lovely people at Monroe took a chance with me, and they managed to get it here and put it in front of press. And now, yeah, it's kind of snowballed, and it got more eyes on it and more attention than I ever thought possible. And I love hearing people, hearing what people think about it. I was surprised that places like The Guardian picked it up, and that was positive. I'm surprised that most of them have been quite positive, like 3-4 stars. My favorite critic review is the Little White Lies one, because there's that amazing line in it where, you know, like it's like the Prince Charles cinema and cinema known for doing this, that, and that. You know, it's a cinema for the people, by the people. So it's a big surprise that Fil Freitas hates the general public so much. I love that line. But and there have been some really, really lovely, kind words said about the film on Letterboxd and stuff. My favorite one, though, is a jokey one, but it's one line, and it was just maybe the only funny poop joke in cinema history. That's my favorite review so far. There have been some bad reviews, and
I've got the one.
My favorite bad review, I'm assuming you have it here.
I have it here from Letterboxd. This is the one. Yeah. Why would I watch a Poundland Kevin Smith feature about Fil Freitas being a rude prick when I could just deal with him in real life?
I must have been a prick to that dude at some point. I feel like I'm pretty nice,
usually like really
but
nice.
I must have like.
Phil gives himself such a hard time, and he's done it in this Q&A where he's like, oh, like, you know, I'm just kind of mean and stuff. He's not. He is so fucking nice, and it's insane.
I must have done something.
Yeah, I don't know what you did.
Yeah.
Maybe he thought you were someone else or something. I don't know.
Another Fil Freitas.
Yeah, maybe it was Rick. You know, like looking at the time, and I wanted to give you guys the opportunity to give questions, and Phil and I were just kind of rambling, and I know we have a film on in a bit. We could take like one question. Phil, pick your poison. Who do you wanna?
You pick.
Okay. We'll go. Back there, green shirt.
Fucking love the film. Very inspirational. I can't wait to see it again.
Thank you.
Obviously, it's looking a long time ahead. But do you anticipate maybe through like an independent label, like a home media release at some point?
Yeah. Thank you for your question. Thank you for coming out. Yeah, I want to. So the plan I've kind of set out with Monroe is to do as many UK screenings as possible, and we've got a little run. Maybe try and do a little bit in Europe, but the end of the year, I plan to have it available on streaming at the end of the year, and I'm going to do a limited, like off my own back, a limited like physical run, like a Blu-ray run, and I'm going to pack it with like special features. Like I want it to be like the DVDs I grew up with, so there'll be commentary track and a blooper reel, and you know, I like behind the scenes photos and all that fun stuff. So yeah, just look out for it by the end. Hopefully, maybe Christmas. I think Christmas, New Year, you can expect that. Just go to the regular
stocking stuffer.
Yeah, little stocking stuffer.
Well, Phil, I'm incredibly proud of you. I just want to say that.
Sorry, I talked for so goddamn long.
No, I mean, I was trying to ask as many questions.
Your questions. I'll be outside.
Yeah, I'm really sorry as well. But yeah, we do have another screening on, and we have to clean the screens. If you guys see, it's you know what we do.
Take your rubbish with you, for the love of God.
And if you find any dead rats, don't tell us about it. We don't want to know. No, I did want to ask, because you had that little bit at the end that says the regulars may return. What's that mean? You calling your shots?
It should have said the regulars always return. I don't know, maybe.
All right, all jokes aside, like I was saying, I am incredibly proud of you. I know Rick and Dusty and everyone here who like were a part of this are proud of you for this, like coming to our screen here. And I've been here for like 11 years now, and the entire time I've been at the Prince Charles Cinema, and even hearing this from other people, like shout out Paul, it's a podcast joke. Paul, like, he's been here even longer, like 15 years maybe, and he's just like, there's always been someone front of house who comes through these doors and it's like, I'm gonna make a movie about the Prince Charles Cinema. I'm gonna make a movie about this place, man. I'm gonna do it. No one fucking did it. We've had some films shot here, maybe some shorts, but no one made a film about the Prince Charles Cinema. But Fil Freitas did. And that's gonna be here forever. So this is the time. So Phil, I thank all of you guys for coming out and watching this. Give them a round of applause. Say a little ovation.